Good afternoon, happy Sunday and welcome along to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub with me, Dan Bates. Matt Elliott and Mark Albrighton are our guests this afternoon as the Foxes travel up to Manchester yet again, of course, having done so in the Carabao Cup not so long ago, to face Manchester United in the Premier League this afternoon, of course, knowing that a win sends them ahead of the hosts and up into 13th at this early stage of the season still. Good afternoon to the both of you. How are you doing? It's great to have you back along. Mark, you're becoming a bit of a regular, an expert on the sofa. It's nice to have at least one.
Harsh but fair.
It always starts off with an insult.
I know, yeah, doesn't it?
Always.
But only to you.
only when you're in the middle, not when I'm sat there again.
Yeah, I've got all that to come.
Yeah, once I start insulting you, then you know you are a regular.
I've been here too many times, yeah.
And hello, of course, to you, Matt. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, looking forward to the game. Seems an age since Ipswich, doesn't it, for some reason? I know we've got the extra day's delay on a Sunday kick-off this afternoon, but Man United, yeah, that tells its own story, doesn't it? The size of the occasion, you know, whatever Man United is that Leicester coming up against, it's an occasion, isn't it, going to Old Trafford and going up against the mighty Reds, shall we say. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely, yes. There's some interesting team news as well. We'll get to that in just a moment. We've got plenty, though, to get through during Matchday Live as we build up to kick-off on this Sunday afternoon. We will start by taking a look back at what happened a week ago down in Suffolk. Strange old game. Could easily have lost it, could easily have won it. Jordan Ayew again, though, scoring late for the Foxes. We'll take a look at some of the best strikes scored in the month of October. And we'll also hear from Caleb Okoli, who's been previewing the trip to Old Trafford. We've got all that to come. Firstly, though, let's take a look at today's team news from a Leicester point of view. Obviously, that's where we'll start. Steve Cooper has decided to make 3 changes to the team that drew with Ipswich just over a week ago. Out go Steffi Mavididi, Jamie Vardy and Ricardo. In come Ayew, Soumaré and James Justin. So it's a man sitting goal. Christensen, Fass, Vestergaard and Justin. Winks and Soumaré, who impressed at Old Trafford, of course, in the Carabao Cup. He gets his first Premier League start. Buonanotte on the left, Ndidi and Fatawu are supporting Jordan Ayew. On the bench, it's Ward, Cody, Coley, Mavididi, El Khanous, who also impressed in that Carabao Cup game just over a week ago. Chowdhury, Skip, Edouard and Casey McAteer. From a Manchester United point of view, it's the final game in charge for interim boss Ruud van Nistelrooy before Ruben Amorim takes charge. He's gone for Onana in goal, Mazraoui, Martinez, De Ligt and Dalot across the back four, with Casemiro and Agate in midfield. Rashford, Fernandes and Amad Diallo are in support of Rasmus Højlund. That is the team news then for both teams. Mark, we'll start with you, and probably the biggest point that comes up is Soumaré in the midfield, starting in there. Was impressive against Manchester United, was very impressive off the bench. We'll come on to that and we'll see that, of course, in the highlights against Ipswich, but he gets his start.
Yeah, I think with Bouba, he's obviously been at the club for a few years now. He's had his loan spell, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him play today. I'm desperate to see him do well. He's a player with bags and bags of ability, and I think the way that he plays sometimes gets misinterpreted occasionally with his body language, and people look at things like that. But
this was unbelievable, though.
That's just the way he plays, and but he's got the strength. He's technically very gifted, and if he can pull a run together of games and a bit of form, then it's a massive asset to have for the team.
But without putting you on the spot too much, Mark, with that, because I know he's an ex-teammate and what have you. But you can see he's extremely talented, can't you? I think most people recognise that before Ipswich, but that's where it was really evident, his impact on the game, certainly in the short term. But why do you think he hasn't sort of taken off for him? Because he has that potential, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that probably stand out. I think Bouba's a player that and people that look from the outside might not think this about him, but I think he really needs an arm around the shoulder. I think he really needs a manager to come in and like put their arm around his shoulder, back him, show him a little bit of love, and I think that's where you'll get the best out of him. I think if you went the other way and it was sort of the screaming and the shouting tactic that you used as a manager towards him, I think you'd totally lose him. I think you would really lose him. But then on the flip side of that, he's got to be. He's growing up a little bit. He's obviously came to the club a few years ago, and he was young still. He's getting to an age now where it's at a pivotal point of his career. So he needs to start pushing on. So he needs to step up, and if he can find a form, like I say, and a run of games, then he has got bags of ability. He's shown in glimpses every so often where he can run through a midfield, create chances. He's got the ball control. He's got the strength. So there's a chance there for him now. He's got his opportunity. It's down to him to take it.
One thing, I guess, Matt, that you may have looked upon in the last few years of seeing Booba is you see that ability that he clearly has, and maybe it's a little frustrating that you don't always see it, but we absolutely saw it at Old Trafford in that cup game just over a week ago. We absolutely saw it off the bench against Ipswich at the weekend as well.
Yeah, I mean, but like any player, it's finding that sort of regularity in your levels, isn't it, really? Because otherwise, most coaches, they want dependability. Coaches, don't they? Want to know what they're going to get. If you have 2 good games, and I'm not saying in Soumaré's case necessarily, but any player, 3 average and 3 stinkers is not really what coaches are looking for. But you used the word frustrating, and I think it is for everyone, none more so than Soumaré himself, I would like to think, because he must know his potential, and sometimes he makes the game look really easy. It's just like, shrugs off, and not just in that Ipswich instance. Mark's mentioned he shrugs off challenges, he outstrips opponents, whatever. He's got the ability, he moves well with the ball, and there's so much there. But it's I don't know. It's puzzling, really. Mark's given a touch on the reasons why it hasn't happened. I don't know. Maybe Booba doesn't know himself because he's still trying to work it out. But
I think as well, like when he has played at Leicester, it's been in a struggling team. Like the year we got relegated, and nobody was really hitting top form. Then he goes away on loan, does really well, has a good loan spell in Spain, and then obviously he comes back here, and we're down the lower side of the league. Yeah, like it's been mixed form so far, but he's not really played too much. So hopefully he can find the ability somewhere to sort of take the game himself and have an impact himself in terms of dragging the rest of the team with him.
Because he's got, I know we're probably deliberating the point too much, but he's got abilities that no other Leicester City midfielder have got. So there's a chance for him to really make a mark for himself, and it's, I'm not going to say it's now or never, possibly is in his Leicester career, but he's got to sense that himself, how good his potential is. I'm sure he does recognise it at times, but can't just do it when you've got to make a point as well. Like, I'm coming in against Man U in the cup, pressure's off a bit, and he plays well then, and then gets himself in the team. He's got to back that up with a performance today as well. Yeah,
speaking of team news, it's not the only headline team news really. No Jamie Vardy, no Ricardo Pereira in the Matchday squad completely. Steve Cooper has spoken to the cameras this morning. This is what he said. He says Vardy is injured, Ricardo too. It happens. None of us want injuries, but unfortunately both picked up injuries last week and have been unable to recover for today, which is unfortunate, but we look forward to the game. So we don't know timeframes or anything with either of those two players. Hopefully we see them straight after the international break. But a blow, of course, not having Ricardo, who just come back into the team, and Jamie Vardy, of course, top scorer so far this season.
Yeah, I think with Vardy, he's obviously going into this season. He's 37 years of age. We can't rely on him week in, week out. I think this one is probably more of an impact injury, but there's going to be occasions where he's going to pick up knocks. He's going to feel feel strains and muscle strains and things like that. So I think we do need to have a bit of a plan B as well when he's not there. We need to have a different option to replace him. Obviously, nobody's ever going to replace Jamie Vardy and the impact that he's had on this football club. But in the short term, we need somebody that's capable of stepping in, because he's not going to be available week in, week out at the age he's at. Although he is proving all doubters wrong in that sense.
Yeah, I think that's where the benefit of Ayew really comes to the fore as well, doesn't it? He's shown already how versatile he is. I think he's played right across that front line now. And he'll come in and do a different job. Jamie Vardy, different type of player, obviously. But, yeah, like Mark says, I mean, it's inevitable that there's going to be times throughout the season, sometimes even without an injury, Steve Cooper might think, listen, Jamie's looking a little bit jaded, needs that rest. So it's going to be a little bit mix and match, but injury has decided for him on this occasion. But yeah, I'll tell you more frustrating probably for, obviously Jamie will be, but Ricardo is going to be there because he's trying to get some rhythm into his game, get back to where he has been at times in his Leicester career, and then another little, hopefully, just a niggling injury. But then, you know, as Mark mentioned there, it's international break next weekend, and he's someone who, well, he will want a break because he wants time to recover, but he wants the games to sort of come and get some flow in his play. But, yeah, shame for him. Frustrating time for both.
Yeah, we don't particularly know, obviously, that the length of those injuries. Hopefully, the international break coming gives them both that break, as you said. Right, let's take a look back then at what happened just over a week ago down in Suffolk against Ipswich. Jordan Ayew, the hero, yet again off the bench for the Foxes.
Sort of plops it down straight into the middle of the pitch, and Buonanotte is onto it. Buonanotte goes beyond Morsey. He's still going, Buonanotte. Brilliant feed, brilliant shot. Fine save from Muric. Sparkling from Facundo Buonanotte, and he's pretty unlucky not to have made it 1-0.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to be accused of over-exaggeration, but that was Lionel Messi-like. It literally was, wasn't it?
Here comes the set piece from Davis, and round the back it's a free header, and it's a big miss from O'Shea, who looks to the skies and knows that he should have put Ipswich 1-0 up, the summer signing.
Typically of the last... Well, the opening minutes of this second half gives the ball away straight.
Davis with a shot, it's in on the volley. Oh, what a goal! Found with a crossfield pass, and Leif Davis has scored an absolute cracker. Davis is going to nip it to the far post. It's a free header, and it's Hurst was there. O'Shea didn't get anything on it. Fatawu, did he bundle over Chaplin? Oh, Hutchinson almost then shot. Oh, it was absolute chaos in the penalty area. Phillips eventually brings it forward, and he has fouled Ricardo. Phillips has shown a red card. He fouled Ricardo, and Calvin Phillips makes the walk to the touchline. That is potentially a big moment in this contest. Leicester will play against 10 men. Morsey sprinting forward, he not got much puff left in him, I wouldn't have thought. He goes over, no free kick definitely, that was soft. And then Soumaré bounces off of Wes Burns. It's all happening at Portman Road. He's played it to Jordan Ayew, Ayew into Vardy, back to Ayew, scores! Leicester have done it late on the road! Jordan Ayew sweeps home, what a move! And he sends the away fans delirious in the 94th minute. It is Ipswich 1, Leicester 1. It's Jordan Ayew, the hero, away from home again.
Jordan Ayew there, scoring at the very end.
Nearly got caught there, mate.
In the 6-yard box at the end. There, as they were chasing the equaliser, weren't they? Quite incredible, Jordan Ayew, though. 2 away games on the spin to produce that was quite unbelievable, wasn't it? A decent point in the end. Could have been 3, could easily have been 0. Strange one, Matt, you were down there.
Yeah, it was a strange game. Sort of, not as many goals, obviously, but in some ways, not dissimilar to the Southampton game. You know, in terms of, like, you weren't quite sure what to make of it all. But this goal, we were just commenting there as we saw it the first time. It was just superb football from start to finish. Soumaré there, we haven't seen most of his good work. Shrugged off a couple of challenges, we were talking about earlier, which one of his assets, but he feeds it in. Well, you probably don't notice it initially. Well, I didn't when I watched it live, but that touch there, it's like come from behind his left foot, and he's on the move, not at full pace, but that one there. He said it come behind his left foot and scooped it almost with his right. Perfect weight of touch. Then it comes into Vardy. That looked simple, but it was really effective, and it had to be spot on, the weight of that, because, you know, a little bit more strength on the layoff. It goes through the keeper, whichever. It had to be inch perfect. And then the timing of the run, and see they froze it to trying to take it away from Leicester, weren't they? Looking for the offside, but you were confident. He just slotted it. He had a similar-ish chance about, was it 10 minutes before, 5 minutes before?
That, yeah.
Popped out. I think O'Shea came and cleared it, didn't he? No, it was the other centre half. Name escapes me. But yeah, in the end, there was genuine reason to say Leicester deserved the point, but over the whole game, I think Ipswich was probably the better side, if I'm being honest. But then they could have won it, Leicester, as well. It was that sort of game.
If Leicester had scored 5 minutes earlier,
yes,
they do win it. They had 3 or 4 moments, obviously,
likely,
too short in those highlights to see them, but they had a few moments right at the end that even then could have won it. Had they scored 5 minutes earlier, you'd think they probably would have done against 10 men.
I think that's been the case on a few occasions this season, though. You go all the way back to the first game of the season. I think the game at home to Tottenham. If that goes on for a little bit longer, I think we get something. The defeat against Aston Villa at home as well. Like, if the game goes on for a few minutes longer, I've got every faith that we would have gone on and got an equaliser. So it's easy to sit here and say that I think that goal sums up the fact that we've got a lot of quality in the side, because, like Matt was just saying there, the quality from Bouba, the run, the touch, everything about that goal just oozes quality, and that's an encouraging sign, because it's not like we are one-dimensional. The Southampton winner away at St Mary's is a set piece. It's a bit of cleverness from a set piece. That's a bit of quality. So it's encouraging that we're showing signs from all different angles, and we aren't playing one-dimensional.
Yeah, I think that's something that Steve Cooper's, it's part of being a good player, is showing quality at the right times. Lots of people can do the basics, can't they? But I think Steve Cooper's trying to improve the success ratio, I think, of those vital moments, isn't he? I think he's working on that day to day, because it's been labelled at Leicester that they're going to be short on the goal front. Where the goal's coming from, and they score in pretty much every game so far, haven't they? I'm just trying to check it, if not all of them.
Yeah, I think we
isn't
have.
it? Yeah,
Every game.
Man City, yeah.
Probably not too many teams that can say that. Okay, they haven't been hatfuls, but they score regularly, and it's not always by hook or by crook. It's sort of one way or another, but they're decent goals a lot of the time, not always. But that's encouraging for the players. But if they can build on that, and then as well as that, they want a little bit more control of the game at times, but at the same time, they're accepting that they're not going to control many games, not for 90 minutes. So they've got to bring variety to their play, and they're finding a way to win or get through is what Leicester have done so far, and hopefully they'll carry on.
Yeah, hopefully it starts today. I say starts. We've seen a lot of it, but if they can string a performance together where they're good for both halves, because often we've seen it's been really good in the first half, not so good in the second, or the other way around.
Yeah,
if they can put two together, you can see them going in and winning at Old Trafford today.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to do it, like to have control of a full game of football. Obviously, it's going to be really hard at Old Trafford, especially. But I think only the sort of top teams of the league can manage to do that, and even they're struggling at the moment. So it's such a competitive league, and I think, like Matt alluded to there, you've almost got to accept at times that that's not going to be the case, and you're not going to have control of it, and that's where these little bits of quality are important, and especially, like we've said, we've scored in every single game that we've played this season. So the problem is defensively, and we're conceding too much, and that's probably why we're not getting the points that we probably think we deserve. But if we can accept that, yeah, we're shipping goals, yeah, we'll look to do something to rectify that. But at the same time, we need to focus on scoring more.
Yeah, speaking of scoring more, then let's take a look back at some of the best goals scored in the month of October across all three of the Leicester City teams, of course, including one fantastic strike at today's venue.
Pass from Justin, lifts it over the top for Buonanotte, who's into the penalty area and onto his left and firing into the roof of the net for Leicester City. Leicester lead in a huge game in the Premier League, and it's Facundo Buonanotte rifles it into the roof. Excellent pass from Justin, and that's given this place a lift. 1-0 Foxes.
Oh, what a fantastic finish from Buonanotte.
Buonanotte rolls it back here to Winks. Winks firm pass back to Fatawu. Now can he beat Ryan Fraser here? Who is now the left wing back? He can. He gets to the byline. He cuts it back, and Buonanotte has scored. Game on. Abdul Fatawu, what an impact off the bench. The Leicester players turn to the travelling fans and say this one is not over yet. 64 gone. Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Buonanotte scores again. Last attack. Here it comes. It's back to Ayew. Ayew shot. It's in! With the last kick of the game. It is an away day for the ages at St Mary's. And the away end is going absolutely crazy. What a game. What a win for Leicester City. Jordan Ayew in the 98th minute.
Shows a lovely ball through to Mamiki, who nutmegs the defender across the line. What a goal from Luka Mamiki! A lovely touch and a cool finish. And Leicester score their first goal in the WSL since opening day. It's a nightmare start for Everton.
Holtzman forward, feeds Lindsay. First time ball in. Joseph's header. Oh, it's fantastic. Well, from one full-back to the other, Leicester have found themselves an equaliser. Well, Lindsay took a touch out of his feet and delivered that early ball into the penalty area.
As Leicester move to a back three, Ricardo joining Winks, and it's those two exchanging passes, and Winks driving forward over the halfway line, and Didi to his left, quickly into Mavididi, facing up to the penalty area. Winks making a good run, and he's squared into Vardy, who equalises for Leicester City to quieten those celebrating Nottingham Forest fans. They're silent. King Power Stadium is raucous because their main man, their number 9, has applied the finishing touch to a sweeping Leicester City move. Winks and Ricardo, the key to it.
Lindsay. Nice ball round the corner. Here's Pennant now for Leicester, playing it in behind. This is dangerous for the Foxes, and that is a fantastic finish. Jake Evans with the goal, his third of the season. A superb strike to the near post, off the Chelsea post and into the back of the Chelsea net for a Leicester leveller.
Ball floated to the far side of the penalty area. It's a giant leap. Far side from Darlow. Cross from the right, Shepherd over Reed. Decent delivery, I think that came off Xerxes. It's been cleared to the edge of the area. Oh, and it's it! No, it's in the post, it is it! and it's a Leicester City goal by Bilal Al-Khanous. Struck firmly, struck sweetly off the right post. It went across the goal line and just snuck in to the corner of the net, and Leicester immediately bring themselves back into this game with a super strike from Bilal Al-Khanous.
You've got 10 goals to choose from there in our Goal of the Month competition. Voting closes at midnight tonight on the website and app, so do head on to there to cast your favourite. I mean, my favourite, it might not be the best goal technically, but the Jordan Ayew one at Southampton, for me, has got to win that. I don't know what.
Probably will, wouldn't it? For fans' enjoyment, or everyone's enjoyment, sticks in the mind, doesn't it? But I think technically, the better goal than I realised was Jamie Vardy's goal against Forest. All the way from back to front, wasn't it? And Forest not getting a touch, exquisite goal. But yeah, I'm not going to argue with you there, Bates. I don't know what you think, Mark.
Yeah, I think the Al-Khanous goal at Old Trafford for me. I think the technique that he shows and how he just sort of glides along the floor, hits the post and just sort of goes across. And I think at that point as well, that gave us a little bit of hope. During the game.
Enjoyable commentary on this because John thinks it's in. No, it's not, and it is in.
Yeah, I did really like that. He does show really, really good technique there.
Yeah, you don't see it skim across like that too often, do you?
Even the first touch with his head, like to set himself.
Yeah.
And then to have the composure through a lot of bodies as well.
Just shows you it's a game of opinions, Bates.
They all count the same, don't they? They all count the same.
So you're looking like the ex-professionals, aren't you? I've just gone for the vibes that moment.
That'll probably win.
Yeah. El-Khanous, let's actually talk about him for a moment, Mark, because he was at Old Trafford. He's on the bench today, but you can see him, and speaking of substitutes making an impact like Ayew has done a number of times, you can see him coming on today if the game's tight, hopefully producing a moment of magic like that. But he looked really bright in the Carabao Cup game.
Yeah, I think again, like we spoke about Booba earlier, just want to see him sort of step up a little bit. Like he's had a couple of chances now, and he's probably yet to hit the form that he probably expects of himself. He's come with quite a big reputation and some good form as well. So he's probably chomping at the bit to try and find that form again and try and be a big part of this Leicester team, because like we're talking about with the quality that's in there, you can tell even just from that goal that he possesses quality. So it's something that I'm sure he's keen to keep working hard and become a fixture in the team.
Yeah, listen, you can see. You've mentioned it there. They're not too dissimilar in some respects to Soumaré, in as much as you can see the obvious talent. He moves well. He looks a naturally gifted footballer. Plenty to offer. People, not raving about him, but like mentioning him in a really positive light against Man U. And it's just bringing that. He's had that sort of adjustment time now. And in Leicester's situation, you need him to sort of get the ball rolling a little bit now as well. Okay, it's fair enough, but he's come for a sizable fee. Like you say, big-ish reputation, bit of expectancy, and hasn't quite provided regularly so far. And I think people will give him the benefit of the doubt for a while. But in Leicester's, you've only got so long to bed yourself in. So, but he's a good option, that's for sure. And the options that Steve Cooper's got, they keep each other on their toes, hopefully, as well, because very rarely is it the same team that's picked from one week to the other, and that's not necessarily because of poor results, but just little tinkers here and there, and he's done it again this week. Yeah,
we've just seen shots of some of the players warming up at Old Trafford. That means we can cross over to Manchester. Gerald Taggart, have you been warming yourself up for this game today? Firstly, how are you? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, good afternoon, chaps. Yeah, I'm good. It's not too cold here, actually. I'm sat nice and snugly next to John Dunn, the commentator, and he's keeping me nice and warm at the moment.
What are you expecting today?
A tough game. Rui van Nistelrooy's last game in charge as caretaker manager, so he'll want to go out on a high. Take the positives from the game last week, the cup game that is, here at Old Trafford. And I'm sick of saying the same thing every week, Dan, but try not to give away soft goals is rule number one. And you could say they've sort of, I don't know, you could call it beefed up the midfield with Bouba Soumaré, starting again. He had a really good game, really good impact against Ipswich. So he gets a call up today. So looking to see how he performs today. There's been a few false dawns, unfortunately, for Bouba in his Leicester City career. So hopefully he can get up and running, because at the minute he looks like he's got the bit between his teeth.
Gerald, it's Matthew here.
Hello, Matthew.
How are you, my old fruit?
I'm very well. Yeah.
Just a couple of questions, mate. You mentioned it, you touched on it there. Leicester have got to become more solid defensively, of course, but there's quite a bit of sort of physicality there in midfield.
Yes.
I think that's one area that Leicester needs to test Man United out a little bit. Indeed, he can, maybe stretch that midfield as well with the support of Soumaré.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at it in other aspects. Sort of where are Leicester likely to hurt Man United? For me, I'm looking at Fatawu on the right-hand side, up against, is it Mazarazu?
Mazraoui.
Mazraoui.
I would say close enough, but not even in the same ballpark.
There's only one Z in there, isn't it? Mazraoui, that's it.
Yeah.
Lizarazu, he's a left back for France, wasn't he, back in the day?
Was.
Sorry,
Yeah.
apologies for that one. But because across on the other flank, I mean, Buonanotti's obviously got the ability, but Barlow's quite solid, isn't he? Two centre halves, decent. I think Fatawu might be the outlet. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think you make a good point. And also, will the support of James Justin as well on that right-hand side. We've seen James to great effect getting forward and causing issues for oppositions, notably not more than when they played Arsenal at the Emirates. So yeah, there is, and obviously Buonanotte, I think will cause a few issues as well in and around the edge of the box. So yeah, there's opportunities. Say Soumaré breaking from midfield as well. Ayew, we know what you're going to get. Hopefully he can get Leicester up the pitch, because he's very adept at keeping a hold of the ball and drawing free kicks. So it's very, very important that he's I don't want to say a target man, but when the ball's going into the front man, it's very important that he tries to get a hold of it and gets Leicester up until the final third. And then, as you say, you've got the likes of Fatawu, Buonanotte, and hopefully one or two guys breaking from midfield to get up and support.
Yeah, Ayew's going to need runners in and around him and beyond him, isn't he, I think, as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, it's important. He's not necessarily going to run away from Man U's backline, but he can bring other players into the game. And then with the pace and trickery of Fatawu and Buonanotte, you're thinking, can we get the ball to them in tight areas, and let's see what they can hopefully produce.
Yeah, there's variety there. Was there variety, Gerald, in the food stakes, mate? Has the new regime upped the game? Not that it was bad before, but how was the old scran up there?
Yeah, it was like walking into an Indian restaurant this afternoon. Midday curry.
What, pint of Cobra?
Doesn't sound as if it's right, but it was beautiful. Chicken curry, vegetable curry as well, which was very, very nice.
None of that, mate. None of that.
It was good. Get your 5 a day in sunshine. Don't worry about that. So yeah, very pleasant indeed, albeit at midday. A little bit early, some people might say, for a Ruby Murray. But very nice all the same.
Lovely stuff.
Enjoy, Jerry. Thank you very much. We'll hear from you on co-commentary duty again alongside John Dunn this afternoon. We're 25 minutes now away from kick-off. 3 changes for Steve Cooper today. Jordan Ayew, as Matt and Jerry were just talking about there, Mark, is that we believe in that striker position. He can offer a lot, can't he? Whether it's on the left or the right or up top. And one thing you can get from him in moments, like we saw at Ipswich, he can put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him. I've got to be honest with you. Since he's come in the summer, I've been really impressed with his work rate, his quality, and how valuable he is to the team. I think sometimes if he's not a sort of tricky player, it can sometimes go unnoticed the dirty stuff that he does. And I think today is no different. I think he'll be crucial. He obviously wins a lot of fouls, which will be helpful getting us up the pitch today. And then his hold up play is superb. So it's just about getting players up to support him. And I think even with the cup game, I know that there's a lot of personnel change, but I think we showed a lot of times that we were more than capable of opening Man United up and creating our own chances. I think on that day it was a case of just giving away real soft goals and then a couple of little bits of quality as well. So if we can tighten up there, then we've proved that we can hurt Man United ourselves.
Yeah, and talking of strange games earlier, that was one with Man United, wasn't it? You didn't quite know what to make of that, what was going on. I mean, on the face of it, scoreline suggests it was a cruise for the home team, but
it wasn't. No.
It wasn't, was it? No, I mean, Ewan was trying to convince me that Leicester were unlucky to be losing, and they were 4-1 down. Was it half time? 4-1, wasn't it? No, 4-2.
4-2, yeah.
4-2, yeah. He had a point. To be fair, it's difficult to claim you're unlucky when you can see 4 goals in 45 minutes. But it was one of those evenings, really. But they weren't totally outclassed, Leicester, were they? It was the vital moments that went against them. So that for me should give them encouragement going up there. They're not resigned to failure, before they get there. It's always tough against the quality of the lineup that Man United have got. They've got their critics, and rightly so, because they haven't performed up to levels they should. But there's some real quality performers throughout there, and it's a big occasion. But it's a sort of game. I'm sure Mark enjoyed it similarly to I did. You were excited by it. You're going, how lucky am I to be here, coming at Old Trafford against Man United and the players that are on show. I'm going to go and make a mark against this. It might never happen again for me. Let's go and make the most of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think probably at the start of my career, when you used to go to Old Trafford, it used to be a place where you probably was 1-0 down before you'd even got there because of the whole, everything surrounding the club of Manchester United.
Same in my era. But we nicked a couple of results here.
Yeah, and I think that was something sort of over time, over the next few years and towards the end. It was a place where I actually really enjoyed going because you get the glitz and glamour of playing at Old Trafford in front of 75,000
and not the
fans
pummelling anymore.
Yeah, but you've got a chance of going there and getting a result. So there'll be a lot of players in that squad and that team that probably haven't experienced playing at Old Trafford.
You've experienced winning there, haven't you, of course?
Yeah, and it's such a fantastic feeling. I've always said that's probably my favourite place to play. So people will be experiencing it for the first time, and it's about sort of taking that opportunity and making it a day to remember.
Yeah, hopefully the Foxes do.
I've experienced winning there too.
Yes.
Just so you know.
A long time ago.
Okay, doesn't matter.
We're talking the 2020s here now.
I can remember as clearly as Mark can.
Let's hope Steve Cooper will be taking charge of a team that wins at Manchester United this afternoon. Let's hear from the Leicester City manager. He was asked in the week in his pre-match press conference ahead of this game about Manchester United's slow start to the season, the fact that they've got an interim manager in charge, and if it's a good opportunity to go there and get 3 points.
There's always an opportunity. We're not going into the game with maybe them things that you say in our mind, because I think if you have that mentality, then that can be a dangerous one, because the demands that any Premier League team can put against you is a tough one. So you have to go in any game, 100% committed to delivering the game plan and believing in it, and knowing that if we get it right, that we can play well in the game. So whether, you know, all of them things that you said there, I get, you know, are true, of course, but, you know, it's not something that we're talking about. We're talking about, you know, how we can get certain players in certain positions, both with and without the ball, to, you know, to have an impact in the game. And you know, that's fundamentally where we are. But we want to go to Old Trafford with a really good mindset, really good mentality. We really want to believe that we can go there and succeed and do well. And that's our personal challenge of this week, off a frustrating last result. Although we're over it and we're moving on, you know, we're looking forward now to, you know, like I said, thriving in the challenge of playing at Old Trafford, and knowing that if we get it right, that we can do well.
You mentioned thriving in the challenge of being there. Is it a place, perhaps historically, it's been a place where teams might go there with a bit of fear? Is it a place now that you can go and be inspired by, almost use that?
Well, I think you can go anywhere and create anything, you know. And that sounds like a bit of a sitting on the fence answer, but the reality is there's no guarantees. I think, like, wherever we want to get out of any game or any season is not going to be through good luck or good fortune. It's going to be through delivering when it counts, and that's a match day, and it's going to be a brilliant stage to play on the weekend at Old Trafford. It always is, but it's one that we want to go and shine on. It's one that we want to go and show who we are, and you know, we're really clear on how we play. We'll be really clear on the game plan, and it's really now about supporting the guys and then backing themselves to, like I said, to deliver on a match day. So, yeah, like I said a couple of times before, we're just really looking forward to getting on with the challenge now.
That was Steve Cooper there, looking ahead to this game with Manchester United. It's actually interesting, the slow start that they've made at the start of this season. Erik ten Hag has gone. We know Ruben Amorim's coming in. Ruud van Nistelrooy had the win against Leicester in the Cup, draw against Chelsea last week. He will, as Jerry said, he'll want to finish on a high, won't he, this afternoon? And the players, I'm sure, will the same. But it is an opportunity when you look at it for Leicester to go there. You'd rather do it now than 3 months into the new manager, for example.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one because, as is the case, regardless of the manager situation, Man United at the minute are going through a very big transition, and you never know what Man United is going to turn up from 1 week to the next. So obviously, if they're all guns blazing, firing out the blocks, it's going to be a really tough ask. But that hasn't always been the case in recent years. So why that is like that, then you've always got a chance, and it is encouraging for teams that are playing against them.
Yeah, I mean, when slow start is mentioned, I mean, had a slow few years, haven't they? like you're saying.
Yeah. It's their worst start for nearly 40 years.
Yeah, this is probably sort of exceptional, okay, obviously in that case, but no one's sort of that surprised, are they, really? I think you're slightly sort of bemused at the quality of players that they've got, how they don't perform better more regularly. But that's been going on for a while now. And, you know, you're thinking, I don't know, the rot as it's set in, you know, probably in relative levels. But I think the new manager, he seems to have something about him instantly. And, you know, I think he will be successful going forward at the back of the new regime, etc. But that's irrelevant to today's game, really, largely. You know, you'd like to think that Man United players are not thinking, all right, the new manager's come on, I'm going to try a bit harder. Or it's rude.
Be the case, yeah.
Yeah, it might be. Do you know what I mean? It might not be.
Yeah.
Might be, sorry. But Nistelrooy there, you know, it's his last game. Oh, we'll see him off with a win. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? The players shouldn't be thinking like that. They should be giving you all whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. Mark's sort of intimating that he thinks that might be the case.
I just think, I look at the last few years and the different managers that they've had, and I think the problem's deeper than the quality they've got on the pitch. I think there's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on around the scenes, but I think there's more of a mentality problem there.
Yeah.
I think there will be certain players there today that will be like, okay, well, the new manager's coming in next week, so we'll try harder now because he'll watch this game, right? And it'll just be as naive as that. But I just think why you can see this mentality problem. Yeah, it's around the whole season, but if they've got a mentality problem around the whole season, they've got one on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
So I look at it and I think if you start well, their heads will go and there will be more opportunities.
Yeah, I thought that. Sorry,
No.
I thought that in the cup game. I was thinking, you go up against Man U, you got a chance because I thought they might. Because it was Van Nistelrooy's first game, wasn't it? I thought there might be a bit of a surge early on from Man United. Getting the old manager's gone, it's a new start to a level. That didn't really happen. But I thought once they got over that, I thought Leicester could go up against them, because they haven't been playing well for a long period of time. That's not going to change overnight with Man United. It needs a lot of adjustment. And I think similarly today as well, it's Mark and myself touched on earlier, you don't go to Man United think you're going to be under siege for 90 plus minutes. There will be moments when they come at you, they've got quality without doubt, but you'll have moments in the game as well, won't you?
Yeah, I think that cup game, like we've alluded to a lot, but Leicester started really well in that game.
Yeah, it did,
It's a moment of absolute brilliance from a top player in Casemiro that's then got that goal and all of a sudden, right, then they've got the onus, the fans are up, and all of a sudden the Man United players want to sort of enjoy themselves after going a goal up. So if we can start well today and get that first chance, that first goal, who knows?
Keep it tight is the key, though. I know it sounds a bit dull and a bit boring, but keeping it tight as best they can and stay in that game, which Leicester are not bad at generally.
Yeah, defensively, just the one change from Steve Cooper in terms of the back five and keeping it tight. James Justin coming in, Ricardo dropping out. We know he's got an injury at the moment. A couple of other changes further up the field. Buba Soumaré, he is in from the start, and Jordan Ayew starts. Jamie Vardy also injured. This is the Leicester 11 then. Samantha in goal, Christensen, Fast, Vestergaard and Justin. Winks and Soumaré in midfield with Buonanotte, Ndidi and Fatawu supporting Jordan Ayew. From a Manchester United point of view, we'll just rattle through their team very quickly. They have, Casemiro, as we've mentioned, he is in midfield with Agate, here we go, Anana in goal, Mazraoui, Matt Elliott, Martinez, De Ligt and Dalot across the back four. Casemiro and Agate in midfield with Rashford, Fernandes and Amad Diallo supporting Rasmus Højlund. Right, very quickly, Mark, final say can go to you ahead of kick-off. As someone, both of you have won at Old Trafford, you a little bit more recently than Matt. It is a place Leicester...
There's no need, Faith.
It is a place Leicester can go and get a victory. Uncertainty around Manchester United. Leicester go above them if they win today. That is an incentive in itself.
I think that's huge. I think that should be part of the team talk in the dressing room as well. I think that has to be mentioned because it's been a mixed bag so far this season. I think we would all say that, but I think we're in a great position. We're in a really good position, and 3 points today will take us up just before an international break where you get a bit of time off. There's a bit of a holiday before the next Premier League game. It's good to go out on that high, and to do it at Old Trafford as well would be special. And I think it'd be a real uplift going into that break.
Lovely. Right, let's hand over then to our commentary team for this afternoon. In the northwest, Gerald Taggart is alongside John Dunn for all the action, as Mark says there. Go there. Even a repeat of what happened at Ipswich would be pretty good, wouldn't it? That man right there, Buba Soumaré, who helped create that fantastic equaliser, is in from the start at Old Trafford. We've got full commentary coming up next.